Hey guys, so a couple days ago I went and saw Battle of the Sexes. No, I have not seen Blade Runner yet. Apparently, I'm not the only one who hasn't seen Blade Runner. um, if you haven't heard, it bombed at the box office. But yeah, I will get around to seeing that probably in the next couple days. Again, it's like a 3 hour movie, and it's like you guys like pretty much dedicate a whole day to go see that fucking thing. I wasn't gonna see it tonight. It was like 10:15, but I'm like, I'm gonna get out there fucking 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, no, just no, I'm not that excited to see Blade Runner. Especially since I wasn't that big of a fan of the first one. But I will be reviewing that here in the next couple days. Um, but Battle of the Sexes, I did go see that a couple days ago. I was really surprised I got this. My theater got this because it's very hit and miss what movies we get, and what ones we don't. Usually, like come Oscar time, like any movies that are nominated will get a wider or come to our theater. But I was really surprised as this one came. We're also getting like this week Professor Marsden and Wonder Woman. I was like, I never even heard about that movie until like a couple days ago. And I'm like, I was really surprised to hear that we were getting that. Like, I don't think a lot of people know anything about that. So I'm like, yeah, I'll probably have a review for that next week. But like Battle of the Sexes, I'm like, yeah, like I got a trailer for it once or twice here. I think only probably about once. And I thought it looked pretty funny. I was like, yeah, all right. You got Steve Carell, Emma Stone playing it's a movie about Bobby Riggs and tennis match between Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King. Of course, that was way before my time, but I've heard of it. You know, I've heard about it. Know that's pretty famous. I was like, all right, that could be kind of a fun movie. And like I said, the trailers looked funny. Funny. It was from the directors of Little Miss Sunshine. So I'm like, all right, I love Little Miss Sunshine. Yeah, it was good. It was pretty goddamn good. It's a movie that's carried very much by its performances, especially by the two main leads. When you got two charismatic actors like Emma Stone and Steve Carell at the head of your movie, there's a good chance that this movie's going to be pretty good. Emma Stone's character's like her character of Bobby Jean or Billie Jean King. Sorry, it's completely mixed it. Billie Jean King is like the main focus of this movie, even though Steve Carell does get a lot of time, gets his own time in this movie. She is the main focus. It's her story about how she was a revolutionary, feminist, female feminist in sports that paved the way for a lot of women. She started her own. It pretty much starts out when she starts her own or separates from the main tennis organization because women were getting lower paid than the men. She decides to start her own female tennis organization, and that's where it picks up from there. And then she also is dealing with this. All of a sudden, she meets this hairdresser where she starts having a homosexual relationship with her, a lesbian relationship with her, and she's also married at the same time, and she's carrying the whole being an influential woman in sports while also being challenged by Bobby Riggs for a battle of the sexes and not wanting to let all these women down, while dealing, like I said, also dealing with her her secret lesbian relationship and the rift that it's causing between her and her husband. And she's kind of conflicted. It's a really good movie. Like, Emma Stone does a really good job in this fucking movie. It's like her storyline is, like I said, what dominates the movie for the most part. And she's really good. Like I said, this obviously I see this getting an Oscar nomination, her getting another Oscar nomination for this. mainly just because she's playing a famous figure. Usually it's just I think an unwritten rule that if you if an actor plays a famous figure, historical figure, or like sports figure, something like that, they're going to get an Oscar nomination, pretty much. So I would see that happening. And she, like, you know, her acting is really good at. Oh, man, sorry about that. Jesus. But like I said, her acting is really good in this. But also, I don't want to dismiss fucking Steve Carell whatsoever in this movie. He's awesome. He's one of my favorite parts of this movie. Honestly, his stuff is probably the best parts of the movie for me, because he plays Bobby Riggs. Like, you know, from what I'd seen of Bobby Riggs and stuff like that, I knew he was came off like an arrogant, chauvinistic pig, like an asshole, who was misogynist, who was a sexist, yada yada yada, whatever terms you want to give him. But this movie puts him in a very good light. They don't they show that like he did a lot of that as an act, you know, to put on a show. He was a guy who just wanted to put on a show. He just did it as an act. He was kind of like the Andy Kaufman of. Like, he reminded me like Andy Kaufman of tennis. If you ever watched Andy Kaufman in Memphis Wrestling, you know what I mean. He would say all these sexist and misogynistic things, but he was really a decent human being, like in real life, and that he was a really good guy who just happened to have a gambling problem and had marriage troubles because of it. He's married to Elizabeth Shue, and goddamn, she's still gorgeous. Elizabeth Shue's still damn gorgeous. You know, it's weird seeing her with gray hair and everything else. Steve Carell. I love Steve Carell. I always have the time of day for Steve Carell as an actor or a comedian, and he's great in this. Like I said, he's a really good actor too, not just a great comedian. He is a really good actor. You got Bill Pullman's in this, who's Jack Kramer, who's just this sexist asshole. And like, I love Bill Pullman, and Bill Pullman's just great. Like the short time he's in this thing, like I said, he's the guy that kind of is the reason why Billie Jean King ends up starting her own women's tennis league and everything else. Like he basically is what kickstarts everything the events to happen in this movie. Sarah Silverman's also. I didn't realize she was in this until like the very beginning, where she pops up like is that Sarah Silverman? I'm like, okay. It's not her being typical Sarah Silverman, which was kind of nice. It was kind of her trying to act like show her acting chops a little bit, and she did all right. She still, you know, acts like a smart ass, you know, Sarah Silverman, but she's not doesn't way over the top with you know what she usually does. I was watching this movie. I'm like, oh man, I could see Republicans fucking will hate this movie, and that made me even like this movie even more. It's like, oh, it has everything that they fucking can't stand. Feminist. That just alone, yeah, like feminist, you know, women's equal rights for women, all that shit like that. Like, yeah, they'll hate this fucking movie. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they hate Billie Jean King. Like, so I didn't all I knew about her before this movie was that, you know, I knew of the tennis match. I didn't know how important of a figure she was in sports for women, and that's cool. They do a good job paying tribute to her and showing her contributions to women in sports. There's not really much else to talk about with this movie. It's good. It's like I said, it's very good. I was when I saw this movie, I was falling asleep. I'll admit that. That was just because I was fucking tired. But it was nothing really against the movie. I was just really tired. There's been many times I've been in the movie that I really like, and I'm fucking falling asleep. That really annoys me. That's why I didn't want to see Blade Runner right off the bat, because I'm like, I just got off work. I'm not willing to sit for a 3-hour movie right after getting off work and being really tired. So yeah, I do recommend this movie. I really highly recommend this movie. It is a pretty funny movie. It's an enjoyable sit. Yeah, like I said, go see it. Like I said, I can't say whether to compare it to Blade Runner. I haven't seen Blade Runner yet, so as far as trailers go, got a trailer for Goodbye Christopher Robin. It's about the story of the author of the Winnie the Pooh stories and how he got his inspiration from his son, whose name was Christopher Robin. Never knew that. I was like, huh. I was like, I think I did and think I didn't know that fact. I was like, I couldn't remember if that makes any sense. I was like, it looks alright. I was like, that's kind of a weird title. This is called Goodbye Christopher Robin. I'm like, was the kid die? And I look it up and I'm like, no, the kid never died. I'm like, oh, okay. He lived like a long life. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, so why does it have that title? I don't know. And like, you know, like it also like is a fucking PTSD kind of movie too. Right? The author like is like having PTSD from I think World War I or II. I don't remember. And like he decides to write his novels to kind of like, I like to kind of like lighten the public's mood while the war is going on. That was kind of cool. Like I said, I have a soft spot in my heart for the Winnie the Pooh series. I always loved the Winnie the Pooh series and everything else. I like everybody. They're classics, especially the animated versions of them. So yeah, that doesn't look bad. Trailer for three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. That's a mouthful to say. This looks hilarious. I cannot fucking wait for this. This is something I hope comes to my theater. I'm crossing my fingers this comes to my theater because this looks hilarious. It's from the director of In Bruges. If you haven't seen that movie, and Seven Psychopaths. 2 movies I don't think a lot of people saw, but they're great dark comedies. That were fantastic. I've seen them. I've seen Seven Psychopaths a couple times. I haven't seen In Bruges only once, but I still love that movie. It's a movie with Frances McDormand, who's a mom who her daughter gets murdered and the cops aren't really doing anything about it, she feels, and so she makes these free billboards outside their town in Missouri, Ebbing, Missouri, and she keeps taunting the sheriff, who's played by Woody Harrelson, and everything else, and she starts to take matters in her own hands and shit like that. It looks great. Like, it looks like a Frances McDormand might be going for another Oscar. This looks fantastic. Like, Frances McDormand looks hilarious in this thing. I love her as an actress. I'm like, hell yeah, this looks funny. And like I said, it's from the director In Bruges. Up to this point, he's made some pretty goddamn good movies, so I'm looking forward to this. I hope it comes to my theater. I really do. But because it's gonna probably be good, it's not gonna. And then something that will for sure probably be coming to my theater. Pitch Perfect 3. Like I said, I never saw the first 2. I heard good things about them. I just never got around to watching them. Like, the basic joke about a lot of these fucking trailers is like they use the word pitch as like the word bitches. And I'm like, I don't fucking like Last Call pitches. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I never watched the first 2, so they're going to USO show, and Rebel Wilson is still trying to be the discount Melissa McCarthy, because she's a fat woman and she's fat and that's funny. Ha ha ha. Fatty fall down. Fucking can't stand that shit. So like I said, she's a discount, basically a wannabe Melissa McCarthy, and Melissa McCarthy is a wannabe Chris Farley. So there you go. Anyways, yeah, that's as far as trailers go. I'll be back in the next couple days with Blade Runner. Also, we'll be reviewing Siren probably in the next couple days too. I'm gonna try to see that and later this week. Happy Death Day, The Foreigner, and Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. And that'll be the reviews coming up. I got a lot fucking coming up. So yeah, until then, I'll talk to you guys later.